Okay, and I'll let Rick get started.
All right, sorry, Rania, I didn't mean to jump that into the middle of you talk.
It's okay. Go ahead. It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get started. So this next training I'm going to do is on Office 365. I know people get confused sometimes on how to get in, where to find it, how does it all work. So wanted to do a little training on Office 365. So also, there's so many different ways to log into this or to get on the Office Microsoft site for Office 365. You can type office.com, office365.com, microsoftonline.com, outlook.office365.com. So there's so many different ways to get in here. So I am going to use office365.com. It's the easiest for my brain to remember, okay? And so it's going to take me to a sign-in page, and now I need to sign in with my works credentials. So if I go to sign in up here on the right, and I'm going to sign in at rherdlicka@sbccd.cc.ca.us. I believe some of your other email accounts work too. Extensions, this is the one I've always used, so it's one I use here. Okay, I'm going to click next, and then it's going to ask me for my password. Put in my email password, computer password, and it's going to ask me do I want to stay signed on? So never do this on a public computer, right? But if you want to stay signed on your personal computer or your work computer, should not be a problem as long as no one else has access to your computer, all right? So, and I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna let it show that again. I'm gonna go ahead and say, stay signed in. So I stay signed in for this training here, all right? And so now, if you have the license for Office 365 in your, on your account, it's gonna look just like mine. Well, mostly like mine when you log in. You're going to get your email here. You're going to get list of the different apps, right? Now, if you only have Outlook, you're only going to see Outlook, your email, right? Or if you logged in at outlook.office365.com, you're going to see this. You're going to see your email. And some of you probably log in that way now. And it's at first it's confusing as to you think I only have Outlook, right? Well, over here in the top left corner, there's 9 little squares, okay? This is the app launcher. I click that, and then I can see here are all the different apps. These are the cloud apps, right? So this version of Microsoft Word is a slimmed down version to what you would have installed in your computer. The same thing with Excel and PowerPoint and OneNote. These are the online versions, the cloud versions. So they don't have all the same tools, right? And now if I look up here in the top right, it says go to Office 365. So if I want to install Office 365 on my computer, this is where I need to go. Okay, Office 365. And right here at the top, there's a link right just in your face, install Office, okay? Now, generally we're gonna just use this install Office 365 app, but if you want to install another language pack, other things like that, then you can choose other install options. So I'm gonna click Office 365, and it knows what kind of browser I have, so it's going to tell me, I need to move this thing out of my way. It's going to tell me what do I need to do next, right? So it says for my browser I'm using Edge. I need to go down and find Run at the bottom, which you can see here. I'm going to click Run. All right. I'm going to click Yes. Okay. Now, if you have one of our computers that we've checked out to you, you already have Office installed in the computer. So you don't need to go through this process, okay? But if you want to use these apps on your personal device, so you don't have to buy it, right? You're doing work, using your personal device, you're doing work for the school district, right? You can install this on your personal device. This is going to take a few minutes, but I wanted to walk everybody through the install process so that you understand how to get it on your computer at home. Okay, close this box here at the bottom. It's not. The install process is down here at the bottom on my taskbar. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back up. So I don't have my chat up. Find chat. Any questions? No questions so far. So I'm
Hey, Rick, this is Glenn. I'm asking. So we already have this on the computer that you let us borrow,
right?
So we don't have to worry about uploading this. But
you don't need to worry about this install part. But some
right.
people are trying to do this on their personal devices.
But if we want to go to the cloud and use the Excel, the Word, which will stay in the cloud, it would be going straight to the Office 360 and then just doing the application through there, correct?
Right, you can do that.
Okay.
And your students can do this also. They have access to this. They all have access to Office 365. So they can install this on their devices at home. They can use the web versions. So if you need them to write, do a report, they can use Word on the report for you. It has plenty of tools to do a research paper, to do a document for you right there online. They don't even have to install it. They can do this from their Chromebooks, right?
Okay.
Do the cloud portion from their Chromebooks. They cannot install the Office apps in their Chromebooks. Okay,
Right.
their Chromebook comes with Google apps installed, so which also lets them write documents and share documents.
Okay. Cool.
So installed pretty fast. I'm gonna go ahead and click close, and let's go over here and I'm going to search for Word. Where's Word? Did I miss something? There's Excel. I don't know why the Word's not coming up. So I have Excel installed and it's going to open up. All right. And sign in to activate. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And here again, if to use Office 365 software on my computer, I need to be signed in. This version of Office doesn't have a license key like, in the past, you bought a piece of software, you got a license key, and then you use that license key to activate it. More and more apps, we just went over the Adobe training earlier, it's using your login to activate the software. The same thing with Microsoft, it's using your login to activate the software, so you need to sign in. Hopefully it's not going to argue with me because I have it signed in, I have it logged in on a bunch of devices here. I'll leave this checked. I think it'll work either way, checked or unchecked about the organization managing the applications. Okay. That was fine. Where did I put my cell phone? Oh, there. Okay. Another 8. All right. What does it want me to do? I don't want to put a pin. I don't need a Windows Hello account. Sorry, guys. Done. Like I was saying, this is already installed in your computer, so you're just going to use your account to log in. And I'm going to accept the license agreement. Now look, it already went out and it found documents that I'm working on in my Office OneDrive account, and it's already populated recent documents, so then I can use these documents. One cool thing about having Office 365 and OneDrive together, using the OneDrive to store your files, then those follow you around, and then you can use it. So I was working on this copier pricing sheet on my other computer here on my desktop right before this meeting, and so it's up to date. I go home or I go to the coffee shop. Well, I can't go to the coffee shop right now, but I go somewhere else. I can open up that document because I'm using OneDrive for those documents, right? And OneDrive is part of Office 365 and has lots of storage. Don't remember, it's more than you'll need. And so you can put all your documents there. They'll move with you from computer to computer as long as you log into that app. Questions? Anything that I need to address to everyone, Cedric?
I've been following everything in the chat, and I think we're pretty much up to date at this point.
Yeah, so I think someone asked about the Chromebooks. I already mentioned this. So students cannot open and edit documents, or can they open Word files using a Google Apps? Yes. So they'll be able to, Google Apps will open Word documents and edit them, right? They can also use their Office 365 accounts on their Chromebooks. They can log in and edit Word documents in Office 365 online. But they can also, Google Apps will allow you to edit Word documents, not a problem. Okay. So that installed pretty fast, right? I installed all of Microsoft Office in this computer in just a few minutes, right? While I chatted with you guys. I mentioned OneDrive, right? So I'd like to kind of go in OneDrive and review a little bit about OneDrive with everyone. These are all the folders I have in OneDrive. By installing Office 365 into your computer and having OneDrive on your computer, like I said earlier, whatever files I save in my OneDrive, they get backed up to the cloud. They move between all my devices. I have on my iPad, I have the OneDrive app on my iPad, and I can even pull up a document that I edited on my computer 15 minutes earlier in my OneDrive on my iPad to review that. So I really suggest people start learning their way around OneDrive, starting to use that, because the files follow you around wherever you're at. And many of us have multiple devices, and the ability to pick up those files wherever you go is just awesome. I'm sure we can do some OneDrive trainings here in the future. Rania always likes it when I volunteer to do training. So,
where's the OneDrive?
So if I go back, Office, so I'm online, it's here on OneDrive.
Okay.
When you install it, it comes up, it'll show up in your file folder in Windows. So if I open my files, here's my OneDrive account on my computer under files.
So when we do any file, we just go do it in OneDrive?
You can save your files in OneDrive and it'll follow you around. So
okay.
When I first use it on my computer, I need to put in my email address. Click sign in, and then already signed in. It's gonna tell me. Just got to click through all the nexts.
Now, do we have to do this on the computer that you loaned us? Or it could be on any computer?
You can do it on any computer.
Okay.
So here now is my San Bernardino Community College District's OneDrive. And if you have a personal OneDrive account, you can have files in your personal OneDrive. They can all show up.
Okay.
Now I added my email, so everything's starting to pop up on my computer now, guys.
We can also say if we want to move things from our personal OneDrive to the San Bernardino or vice versa, we can do that too, correct?
Oh, yeah, just drag and drop files. You can drag the files from you've been saving on your desktop, or if you're a staff in here and you have network shares that you've been using, you can move them to OneDrive. You can share OneDrive files with other people or folders. So you can make a folder in OneDrive that you want to share with your students. Very easily go into the OneDrive online to share it best online. So if I go into OneDrive and so right here it says it's sharing is private.
Oh, okay.
Click on that. I can send somebody a link. Okay, so it popped over into this window. Do I want to share it giving a link? So then it will give me a link I can send to people to have access to that, and that's pretty easy. Then I can clear that. If I want to give direct access, I can add somebody, maybe someone I teach with or something that we want to share files, and or our students. I can give if they have an Office 365 access, right? So I can do. I'll do Cedric's on here, start typing his name, and then I can choose, can he edit it or can he just view it? Do I want to just allow him to get in there and view it and make a copy of it, or do I want him to allow it to edit files, add files to my folder? I can do that. Okay.
I don't see what you're doing. I mean, you're saying it, but I don't see what you're doing. You're typing something, but it doesn't come up on the screen.
It didn't come up on the screen?
No.
All right. Okay. The window didn't pop up. So
It pops up. I'm trying to unmute. It's just that if you have the window where you can see everyone's faces expanded, that's exactly the window that Rick brought up. So I think you just might.
Yeah, it's on the far right.
It's on the far right.
So move if you have the people's faces and stuff on the right. Yeah, it's
Okay, I see. Yeah, I just had to move you to the left.
Yeah, sorry. It doesn't allow me to move it anywhere else. It's over on the right. So in here, I can, like I said, I can share with the link. I can give access. So if I click access and I typed in Cedric's name, I can choose Cedric, and then I can choose what they can do. And I can add multiple users in here. And then I'm not going to share it because I don't want to go back and unshare it. Then I can just go ahead and click grant access and then notify, and it will send them an email with a link to my files.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's cool.
Yeah. Takes a little poking around sometimes to figure this stuff out.
Rick, do you mind just starting the process over? A few folks came in late. If you could just start from the very beginning of how you got to Office 365.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Let me close all these windows then.
We'll start all over again, everyone, of how to get to Office 365, use the apps, and download.
Okay. Close out. Let me see. All right. So we're going to start over then. No problem. So there's, like I said earlier, there's multiple ways to get out to Office 365. You can use Microsoft Online. You can use .com. You can use Outlook.com. You can use Office.com. I tend to use Office365.com. It's just easier for me to remember, I guess. And then I need to move a bar out of my way here. And then once I get to Office365.com, I click sign in up here on the right. If I'm already signed in, whatever I have for an icon for me, or if I put my picture, it will be there. So I click sign in. I'm going to sign in using my sbccd.cc.ca.us address. I think the Valley College works in here. Cedric, can you correct me either way if I'm wrong?
Let me verify that real quick.
I always just use this one. This is your true, so just a little sidetrack here. You have what we call email aliases, and then you have your email address. This is your true email address. This is what the San Bernardino Community College District, Community College, California, US. This has been our primary email address. And then you have aliases. I have rherdlicka@valleycollege.edu. I have rherdlicka@sbccd.edu. So there's multiple aliases involved.
Excuse me, Rick, I have a question here. Sometimes it's absolutely required that we use the real email address. How do we know when those are required times? Because 99% of the time I use at valleycollege.edu.
Whenever you're signing into the accounts, I would just stick with the sbccd.cc.ca.us when you're signing into account.
Okay,
Now,
because that will always work.
that always works except for on that little portal login that it says right on there. It says use sbccd.edu.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay, thank you very much.
you're welcome. All right, so I'm putting my email account in here. And then, so now I've logged into office.com or office365.com. Okay. If you have a license for Office 365, it's going to look very similar to mine. All right. If you don't, you may just pop you into email only, outlook.office.com. So if you only have Outlook and you don't have the rest of Office 365, then submit a help desk ticket by going to Valley College or by email. The best thing right now with the current situation is to email us at helpdesk@valleycollege.edu. If you email us, include your contact information, make sure there's a phone number in there because most of my staff are working off-site and they need your phone number to be able to get back to you quickly, right? If we're emailing back and forth, it can take a while. So to get the best response, include the issue, hey, I don't have Office 365 or I don't have Adobe. Include the issue, your name, and your email address, and a phone number, a good phone number to call you back, and we'll be able to get back to you quickly, okay? All right, so I'm in my Outlook, and all kinds of junk in here to deal with. And so if I want to get back to Office 365, I click on this little app launcher. It's the 9 little squares, okay? And I can see here's all my Office 365 online apps, okay? If I want to use Word Online, I click there, and it will take me to edit documents in Word Online. Now, these apps, the online versions, the cloud versions, are cut down versions compared to what you have on your desktop. So they have less capabilities, but they keep adding more and more things to these daily, it seems like. So every time I'm surprised at how much more stuff is in Word Online or in PowerPoint Online. So it's not the full versions like you would have on your desktop. I believe someday it will be. Someday we're going to be working on these on the clouds, and we're the cloud only, and we're not going to have applications to install in our computers. I think that's the grand plan. All right. So I want to get back now. I kind of pointed out these are our different apps that I have. I'm going to get back to Office 365 itself, so where I can see all my apps. All right. So this is Office 365, I have links to my web or my cloud apps. I have links to my Outlook, but I want to install Office. I already did this earlier, so I can only go so far here in the install. I'm going to click Install Office. Now, if you're on a Mac, it's going to install the Mac version. If you're on a PC, it's going to install the PC version. If you're using one of our computers that we checked out to you or we loaned to you, it already has the apps installed in it. But if you're using your personal device, a laptop that you own, a desktop that you own, then you're going to want to install the apps on your device. Use our login. You don't have to go out and buy it. Okay? So I'm going to click Office 365, and then, excuse me, I'm going to, it's going to give me instructions. These instructions are going to be different depending on what browser I'm using. I'm using Edge, so these instructions are for Edge. If I was using Chrome, it would look a little different and would give me the instructions for Chrome. Okay. Now down here at the bottom, it's asking me to run the install program. I just ran this a few minutes ago, so I don't want to run it again on this computer, but I would select Run and just follow the prompts along and go through that setup process. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. Close this. All right. So I went through the setup process earlier. Now there's Word. See, Microsoft Word was installed earlier. I can do in the search bar, I can search for Word. I can search for PowerPoint. This is the best way to find things in Windows 10 nowadays than the menus. I can add them to my taskbar. So I have PowerPoint here, right click, pin to taskbar. Now I have it down here, okay? If I want to add, you know, I like all the things I use all the time. I like to have them pinned to my taskbar so I can easily get access to them. Pin to taskbar. Okay. I don't want them later. Right click, unpin from taskbar, and it will go away. Okay. Questions?
Can this be run through your phone?
Now, you may have an app, like if you have an iPhone or an Android device, if you go to the App Store and look for the Word app or the Excel app or the Outlook app, you can install them, and then you can use your login for your Office 365 to log into them so you don't have to pay for them.
So should we do the Outlook? And the Outlook allows us to do, will carry us into all these other apps over here? Or we have to do each one?
You'd have to do each app, because the way
Oh.
it work, you would have to do each one separately.
Okay.
You can, through your browser, you can access Office 365, but it's going to be really small, right? You're going to get the best functionality if you're using an app that's installed in the device.
Okay, cool.
Anything in the chat? Okay, so I had a question in regards to Google Docs. I have students send me their Google Docs for me to review, and even when they grant me access to anyone with Valley College ID to view the doc, it will not let me view it. Try to log into Google with my Valley College ID and it doesn't work. So they're sending you shortcuts to the Google Doc. What they need to do is download the file or send you the whole file. And so the problem is they're just sending you a link to their doc. They need to actually send you the file, and that will solve that problem. Okay. So just like I can send you a shortcut to a Word document that I have in my OneDrive. I talked about OneDrive earlier. I could send you a shortcut to the Word document. And then it has to open up. Has to go find it online, right? So that gets into the whole issue of permissions and things like that. So have them send you the whole file and not a shortcut. I hope that answers the question. All right, so someone asks me privately, can I install on Office 365 on a computer with an older version of Windows? As long as it's Windows 7 or above, it will work, okay? If you have an older version of Windows than that, Office 365, you cannot install it. Any other questions anybody else has right now? We're at one new. Yeah, so Ron just said they can download the document from Google and then upload it into the Canvas for you, or they can email it to you, however you're having them submit it. Let me see. We have tried that, sending the whole file. This is to review the work before they submit it. We can get you a Google account. There's a way to create a Google account for you. We did it for some of the instructors that teach the class, the Chromebooks. Belinda, if you put a help desk ticket in to create you a Google account, then they can do that for you. Leilani also said that. So email the help desk, say you need a Google account, and we can create those, okay? Any other questions right now? I mean, the main point of this was to get you so that you can install Office in your personal devices. You can get logged into Office. But if there's other questions, I have about 18 more minutes to go over stuff. No?
Todd has a question. Todd Heibel.
What's up, Todd? It's unrelated. May instructors still request notebook computers? So, yes, instructors can request notebook computers. MacBooks, we have a couple. I don't know how many we have left that are MacBooks, but the request has to come to us from the VP. So get a hold of your dean, put in the request for what you need, and we'll definitely get that out to you. It's just that because of this, we deployed probably 175 devices in the last few weeks to people. So all requests have to come from a VP or the president. All right, I hope that answers your question, but we're glad to get that out to you. We're open for issuing, if you're waiting for a device, we're open to issue those daily this week from 1 to 4 in CTS 103. Starting next week, it's going to be appointment only. All right.
Hey, Rick, I have one more question for you.
Sure.
Since the computers are the ones that you loaned us have the 365, but when it goes to the OneDrive, we still have to download OneDrive and
just click on OneDrive in the file manager and then type in your email and it will activate it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So Cedric answered somebody's question was how many devices can you have Office 365 on? It's 5. All right. So you can have it on your tablet, you can have it on your laptop, you can have it on your desktop at work, you can have it on your work laptop, whatever, up to 5 devices, and it will take you out of devices if you go over that. Yeah, if nobody has any other questions, we're going to cut this meeting short. I have another one I have to do, another 2-hour for accreditation.
Everyone, please come to the accreditation forum next at noon. We'll definitely give you a break between then, but this is a final report. We might likely have a virtual accreditation. So your feedback virtually is really, really important. It basically accredits, well, it does accredit our college, so it's really important.
Thank you.
You want to stop recording, Rick, for this one?
Yep.